Imagine for a moment that you could hear the voice of someone who lived 45,000 years ago, not through legends or stories told around a fire, but through real genetic code preserved against all odds. Well, that just happened. Scientists have decoded the oldest human DNA ever recovered. And what they discovered was deeply disturbing. These people, the first Europeans, the pioneers who pushed into a frozen and hostile continent, simply vanished. Their bloodlines ended, and we are not descended from them. If that surprises you, make sure to like this video, because this discovery changes everything we thought we knew about our origins. For decades, archaeologists dug through the earth searching for answers. They found weathered bones, stone tools left in caves, traces of ancient fires where families once tried to survive the brutal Ice Age nights. Each discovery added a piece to the puzzle, but something crucial was always missing: DNA. This microscopic code that carries the story of life breaks down over time. The older the bone, the lower the chance of finding usable genetic material. For years, scientists believed there was an absolute limit, a line that could never be crossed. But science has a way of challenging the impossible. It all began in 1950 at an archaeological site called Zlatý Kůň in what is now the Czech Republic. Excavators uncovered something extraordinary: the skull of a young woman, damaged, fractured, yet remarkably preserved. For decades, the skull sat in museum collections. Scientists measured it, compared it to other fossils. But no one imagined that inside that ancient bone was something far more valuable than its shape: fragments of DNA waiting silently to tell their story. Fast forward to the early 2000s. More ancient remains were discovered in Ust-Ishim, Siberia, and later in Bachokiro Cave, Bulgaria. Suddenly, researchers had access to some of the oldest human remains ever found, all dating back more than 40,000 years. But there was a problem. DNA this old isn't clean or intact. It's shattered into tiny chemical fragments, contaminated by soil, microbes, and tens of thousands of years of decay. Reading it required reinventing genetic science from the ground up. Teams at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Germany took on the challenge. They carefully drilled into ancient teeth, natural time capsules sealed from the outside world. Inside the dense inner layers, they found microscopic traces of Ice Age DNA. What they uncovered was nothing short of revolutionary. They reconstructed entire human genomes, not fragments, not partial sequences, but complete, readable genetic maps of people who lived 45,000 years ago, among the first modern humans to spread across Europe after leaving Africa. Now pay close attention, because this is where the story becomes truly fascinating. When scientists compared these ancient genomes to modern humans, they noticed something striking. These individuals carried much longer and more continuous segments of Neanderthal DNA than we do today. This meant they lived very close in time to when modern humans and Neanderthals first interbred. The genetic traces were still fresh, the signatures still strong. They were among the first generations born after two human species met, mixed, and permanently changed our DNA. But the most disturbing discovery was yet to come. These people were not direct ancestors of modern Europeans. They belonged to an early wave of migration that entered Europe and then disappeared. They were pioneers, but their descendants left no trace. Think about the irony. The first to arrive, the ones who braved an unknown, frozen land, the ones who survived against impossible odds. They vanished. This revelation shocked scientists. For years, It was assumed that the first humans in Europe gave rise to later populations. But the genomes told a different story. A story of a forgotten people, surviving for a time, then fading away like footprints erased by snow. And yet, their DNA gave us a direct window into one of the most critical moments in human history. This isn't myth. This isn't speculation. This is the literal code of life, preserved inside individuals who walked the earth tens of thousands of years ago. Their genomes revealed something else, something deeply human. How fragile our species once was. Small groups scattered across frozen landscapes, facing brutal winters, dangerous predators, and competition with Neanderthals. Survival was never guaranteed. Every step forward was a gamble against extinction. And still, they tried. The length of Neanderthal DNA segments acted like a biological clock, allowing scientists to calculate how many generations had passed since interbreeding occurred. The result? These individuals lived only a few hundred generations after humans and Neanderthals first met. We are looking almost directly at the consequences of that encounter. Not a distant echo, but the first ripples of an event that shaped humanity forever. And there was one final revelation. Europe was not populated in a single, straight migration. There were multiple waves. Some disappeared, others endured. Our genetic history is not a straight line. It's a braided river, with paths splitting, merging, drying up, and continuing onward. Which raises a haunting question. How many entire human stories were lost to time? For thousands of years, people lived, loved, created art, and told stories by firelight. They had fears. They had dreams for their children. And then, they were gone. No descendants, no languages, no cultures remembered, only fragments of bone buried in distant caves, waiting tens of thousands of years for someone to hear their final whisper through molecules of ancient DNA. This discovery isn't just about science. It's about reconnecting with our deepest humanity. Understanding that our existence is not the result of a single triumphant journey, but of countless attempts, failures, and second chances. We are here because others tried and didn't make it. And maybe there's a lesson in that. Just like them, our future is not guaranteed. The choices we make today will determine whether our story continues, or whether one day we too will be just another forgotten chapter. So the next time you look at the night sky or walk through an ancient forest, remember this. You are standing on the same ground those pioneers once walked. You carry echoes of ancient encounters in your own cells. The oldest DNA in the world revealed a disturbing secret. We are survivors of a past far more complex and tragic than we ever imagined. If this video made you see human history differently, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we explore discoveries that are rewriting our understanding of who we are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.